Alright then, just taking a quick look at Verasity on our daily time frame for another daily update on the channel. As we can see right now, still stuck under this fair value gap that we created after this big dump to the downside we saw because of obviously that huge liquidation cascade last Friday. Since then, Verasity has been recovering somewhat. In fact, I would say it's pretty much getting back up to where it started. Obviously, we started up here, got down to around a 30% dump. We're currently sitting at around 20% down from that initial place where we actually dropped from. And really, Verasity, compared to the rest of the market, looking pretty good on this particular move to the downside. You can see, if we take a look at the overall move that we made to the downside here for Verasity, down around 65%. Absolutely incredible drop, as you can see here, thoroughly cleaning out anyone who was in leverage, pretty much all the way down to this previous area of structure, which is looking like we are getting a nice little accumulation back up from this area. Overall, I think it looks like Verasity has basically bounced out of this area really nicely. If you look at the 5 minute here, you can see on that particular day, huge liquidation cascade, but we pretty much immediately bounced back up, came back down for a little bit of a retest. I think this is pretty much 50%. In fact, I think if I put this on here, you'll see, just eyeballing this, we're going to be pretty close to that 50% area. You can see we didn't quite get back down to 50% there, but obviously bouncing out of this very, very key area. I always think this area between the 618 and the 050 is a very, very interesting area. You can see we bounced out of there, come back up, retested into that fair value gap on the daily here. As you can see, this big fair value gap here will dictate price, in my opinion. You can see we came up, tried to close above this and got a big fat rejection out of it, so we could well be chopping sideways under this for a good while here. Obviously, we're also rejecting this previous area of support as resistance. You can see Verasity right now basically just come down, swept out all this liquidity that we had below these wicks here. You can see we've been sweeping out this liquidity continuously below this range that we came into here, apart from this deviation here, which was basically a pump and dump. You can see since then we've basically had that high, the low, the high, the low, the high, the low, in a pretty clear and obvious range, sweeping liquidity below this level multiple times, and then with this huge liquidation cascade in the wider market, Verasity pretty clear and obvious here, coming down, sweeping out liquidity and getting a really good reaction, to be honest. And you can see right now just consolidating as you would expect in this local area. As I said, we did come up here a few days ago with a pretty decent push that wasn't correlated with the rest of the market. Verasity being so small, obviously it's not that highly correlated with the market, apart from when we get these huge liquidation cascades. But you can see we came up here, tried to close above this daily and got rejected, and now we're kind of consolidating under it here. Really, I think if we break above this, we'll probably start moving up. You can see with all this liquidity, basically all the liquidity possible taken out for Verasity below, it leaves us with liquidity above that we can target. You can see here we've got this very obvious low resistance LR trend line, as I would call it. It's basically just a bunch of stop losses above here of people thinking we're going to keep going lower. In my opinion, we could end up seeing a kind of V-shaped recovery out of this area, sweep through this liquidity back up towards this 1 in the short term to this 10th of a cent level, maybe up to this 5th of a cent level back at the range high. I could very easily see this happening. This could essentially be accumulation, manipulation, then distribution back up through our levels of liquidity, back up towards these targets up here. You can see we've got good clear targets. I think Verasity is still going to come good at some point, but right now we're just chilling and we're just waiting to see what will happen with Bitcoin in the next few weeks. Going to be very interested to see if Bitcoin can bounce out of its current area, or whether or not we are going to see some more downside for Bitcoin in the short term. Let's see what happens next. As always, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Please do like and subscribe, leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Check back every day for daily updates and get some free money in the description below. Cheers.